Alright everyone, welcome back to Street City Studio. I'm John, and in this video I got a couple figures I wanted to look at from this lot of figures my brother Jesse gave me the other day. There's no way I could fit all of it into one video, so I wanted to break it up, and we'll take as good of a look at everything worth looking at. There's a lot of stuff in those boxes, but some of it still needs to be cleaned up. Now, I've finished cleaning up all the Marvel Universe 3 3/4 figures pretty much. There's some vehicles and what left? The skate ramp. There's a skate ramp, a half pipe or whatever. There's some stuff in there that still needs dusting off, but I did start. I got this Iron Man car cleaned up already. I got the Quinjet cleaned up, but we're not gonna spend much time on those today. I wanted to take a look at some of these heavy hitters that I got, and by heavy hitters I mean most of you guys know what I mean. I mean guys like Hyperion, right? Yeah, I'll put him back here, right? Hyperion is not one of the figures I got from my brother recently, but he's a great example of what I'm talking about. I'm a big fan of these characters. Guys that can solo and one-shot even a Sentinel maybe, right? Guys that can solo and maybe even one-shot the Juggernaut, right? Guys like Hyperion, right? Maybe Thanos level, right? Thanos level, Hulk level at least, right? A bare minimum. Maybe even Gauntlet enhanced Hulk level, maybe, right? But that's what we're talking about. That's what we're looking at. And we'll go with Sentry first. I'm a big fan of Sentry, and this figure specifically, this is a nice figure. Oh, someone fell over. Now, I don't have his stand. He's on cable stand right now. But, man, that's a nice looking figure. And Sentry's a powerhouse, right? He can easily one-shot a Sentinel, right? He can easily one-shot Juggernaut. Usually, maybe not at his max levels. Juggernaut be getting powerful sometimes, but usually, right? Usually, and like I said, these guys, actually pull them both up here. These guys are Marvel's kind of Superman stand-ins, right? And Marvel seems to have a few of those, and that's kind of the theme of this video, I guess, maybe, right? Let's get the next one up here and see what I mean. Next up, we got Gladiator, right? Another Superman kind of stand-in, Superman knockoff, or sort of a spin, if you will, right? With the name CalArc, right? I really like Gladiator though, and I've known since a kid, right? We've seen him in the cartoon, in the old, there he goes, in that old X-Men cartoon. That was so impressive to me in the old cartoon when he takes on Juggernaut and just tosses him. right? Juggernaut couldn't even hurt him, couldn't budge him. And that was so crazy because Juggernaut made Colossus look like a fool, right? He was a million times stronger than Colossus. And then you see someone like Gladiator treat him like an insect, right? And so that's the level I'm talking about. That's what I like. These characters on that level. And now that's something I gotta say. My brother had, at the time when these figures were on the shelves, my brother had more interest in characters like Sentry and Gladiator. And I was more interested in movie figures at the time. And I think that's a big reason I missed these figures, right? I was out there looking for any kind of movie related 3 3/4. I was trying to move on to the movie related stuff, but then the movie related stuff fell off, and now I'm kind of going back, right, and looking for the stuff I've missed and whatnot. But I wasn't really on the hunt for some of this at the time. Obviously my brother donated a lot of this stuff, but if you've been following the channel, I had recently picked up Hyperion for this same reason. And I had been looking at other Marvel figures, right? I had picked up Wonder Man for this same kind of reason. Oh, he's cut off there at the head, right? But for the same kind of reason, right? Because he's this Uberman superhero. This kind of God-level superhero, and that's what we're talking about. I would have eventually hunted down a Sentry and a Gladiator, because these are both great figures. Right, the paint work, the articulation. I really like their capes, right? And I like the difference in the choices they made, right? I like his cape flowing like that, and I like his cape real stoic and straight. Right? There's not a lot of flow to it. I like that. They made good choices on both of those, right? But maybe pull these guys back here a little bit. But I'm a big fan of these characters that can kind of kick around Hulk or Thor or Thanos. Right, one shot a Sentinel, kick around Juggernaut if he needs to. Now the next one up. Oh, I don't know if before I move on, I don't know if I pointed out, I do have the Gladiator stand, so that was really cool. That was one of the reasons I pointed out I don't have Sentries, but I do have Gladiators. But next up, Nova. And I really like this design. I really like all these the shoulder pads, the spiky bracelet or gauntlet, right? Forearm guard, the shin guards. The way they did it, the way they executed it so it doesn't restrict any of his movement. It looks really good. Really well done figure. And it looks very powerful. Can't wait to get some good photos of this one. That's fun looking. Get my hands out of here for a minute. Now, I was a Richard Rider Nova fan more than I don't remember the kid's name. What's the kid's name these days? But I like Nova. That's a cool looking figure. He's on a Spider-Man stand, unfortunately, but that's cool. We're gonna move on. Next up, yeah, we got Thanos. And he's kind of usually at the lower end of that power scale, right? He needs a little help. He could probably solo a Sentinel. He could solo Juggernaut, right? But he's not quite. Usually he needs something, right? He needs a gauntlet. He needs an Infinity Stone. He needs some nullifiers and whatever, right? He needs something. So he's a little weak. Weak sauce. He's on the lower end. But, I mean, he is up there with these guys, I think. Right? Just the fact that, right, I was using them as the examples. I thought about not using them in this video. I thought about not including them. So just in case anybody's got any kind of complaints or arguments about me using them here, I almost didn't. But I thought, why not? It's appropriate, right? I used him as the example, and even if I hadn't used him in the video, he was still going to be the example. But now something I want to take a look. Take a look at these guys next to each other. His blades get in the way. See, I really do prefer this scale, and I've said it in other videos too, right? It's one of the reasons I use this Juggernaut instead. Where is it? Right here. No, that's the wrong Juggernaut. I was about to grab the wrong Juggernaut. But where's my big wood brush? Right here. Right, that's why I like to use that Juggernaut. He's gonna fall over as soon as I let go. Instead of this one, right? I like them somewhere up around here so that they're kind of bigger than them guys. But for the right photos, these figures are great, right? This will never pass as a cartoon or comic book Thanos, right? It'll never pass. But this, right? This is perfect. Especially, he's got some loose ankles, I'm not gonna lie. But get him to stand here, right? If I wanted to do some sort of little Nova photo shoot, get Nova off this stand here. If I wanted to do some sort of Nova photo shoot here, because we ain't got no Nova in the MCU yet. So, I don't know, he might not look anything like this, but even if he does make it to the MCU soon, I got a feeling he ain't gonna look like this. He's gonna look a lot more like those Nova Corpsmen, right? Maybe just done up a little bit fancier. But so, the idea is if I need a Thanos to fight this Nova, this is the perfect one right here. Right? Right? It's just a little underscale when you start putting them next to some of these bigger figures, I think. And he does have some loose ankles, but that is okay. Just means he's gotten played with a lot, right? And now I'm probably going to try and brace him just so he doesn't fall while we're going here. There we go. Just like that. Last, but maybe not least, is that World Breaker Hulk. Oh, he needs some space there. Look at him. Now, I feel silly having skipped this figure back in the day, too. Because I did. I made a conscious decision to skip this figure. Because of, like I said, because I was on that MCU kick. The live action figures. I opted to wait for a movie version. And I did get it, more or less. But honestly, this Ragnarok Hulk, while I really do like it, it could be better, right? It could have some better articulation. They could have gave him some more accessories, some options, right? But it's a nice figure, and especially seeing them together, that's really cool. Let's back this up a little bit. Being able to compare them a little bit, that's so cool. Right? Compare their armor, his shoulders kind of. There we go. His knee want to give out. Scoot him back here a little. Maybe take his helmet off so we can compare faces more closely. Maybe try that helmet on him. Oh, that's way too big. His head's small. Oh, there we go. There we go. That looks good. I kind of like that. That does look good. That's not as silly as I was. I was just being silly, but that looked kind of cool. Yeah, it looks a little fuller, though. But I leaned more into the MCU figures. And at the time, I was really hoping they would stick with it, go all out. Right? But that was about it. That was about the end of the road for 3 3/4 MCU for a long time. Till Guardians of the Galaxy recently, I think. Until more recently, we started getting some 3 3/4. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's kind of cool, right? But there's like 8 years or something in between there. But the point wasn't to focus too strongly on Ragnarok Hulk here. Right? The point was to take a look at Hulk, and I'd like to point out too, while I'm at it, I got the figure stand for him. Hulk stand. I don't know if that's the right number, but it was in the box. A Hulk stand and a Hulk. So, that's his stand. I should have looked it up. I'm terrible for that. If it don't serve me much, I'm not going to look it up right now. Like I said, it's a Hulk stand. He's Hulk. It's good enough for me for now. Right? But he's definitely the powerhouse, right? Juggernaut better be on his best day if he's coming for World Breaker Hulk, right? He's gonna solo that Sentinel, one shot it probably, right? He's on par with these guys. Any of these guys will have a bad day running into this Hulk. Even Hulk, right? Even Hulk would have a bad day running into this Hulk. Right. But I really want to point out, this is part of my whole dilemma here, right? Look at the difference. I want my Hulks this size. I don't want my Hulks this size. Just like I don't want my Juggernauts that size. Right? It's too short. Right? And that's why I said a little earlier I have my complaints about this figure. But those same complaints kinda could be applied here. But this figure's got better. Ooh, his leg came off. I wasn't expecting that. I was about to say he had better articulation, but that might not be better. Let me see. Yeah, his leg ain't just gonna flop right off, but that skirt really holds it in too. Right? And that skirt is part of my complaint, is that he doesn't get much leg articulation even if he has it. So that's one of my complaints. I almost wish his leg would fall off. But, yeah, he's kind of restricted. He doesn't have quite the same upper body articulation. He doesn't have that split in the torso. But, you know what? I think my other complaint is his color. I like this green better. Right? Ruffalo's Hulk was a little lighter. He wasn't quite so dark. But it's a great figure. That's a great figure. This is a great figure. I really like the difference on his armor. I don't prefer this armor. I do, or at the time, I thought the MCU versions were the definitive versions for me. I liked that a lot, the live action. But this just looks more classic and more brutal. Less sci-fi, more bone-crushing swords and axes. Not as light-hearted space adventure. But I think that's let me get him out of the way. Alright. Let's stand him back up. These are the powerhouses. He's new. He's not new. He's not new. And he's not new. These, he's still in here. These are the powerhouses that my brother donated. Some real heavy hitters, man. And that's what I was trying to say earlier a little bit. My brother was real good about chasing the heavy hitters. I didn't have any of these guys in this form. And actually, I shouldn't say that. I used to have the Nova figure here. But I think he broke or something. That was a couple years back. Maybe I used him for fodder. I don't think I did, though. I can't remember. But some heavy hitters, man. Real happy to have these guys on my shelf here. Oh, I'm messing up my lighting. Here we go. Alright, though. I appreciate you guys coming by, checking these figures out with me. Big shout out to my brother Jesse. Thanks again, man. I love them. All of them. We're going to take our time and look at every one of them that I can squeeze in here slowly and in a fashion like this so we can get a good look at each of them. But if you want to check out my photography, you can check me out on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is John Wayna. Instagram is Street City Toys. But that's about it. I appreciate you hanging out. I'll talk to you again soon.